Hello, Cosmic Explorers. Welcome to another edition of Cosmic Insight. I am your co-creator, Hillis, Pugh, along with...
I'm Rebecca Gregory here today, and before we start the show today, I would like to put a message out to honor my father right now, who is in the hospital with COVID, and he's 82 and lived a wonderful life, and he watches every show and supports me, and I just wanted to send a heart message out to him to thank him for the beautiful father he has been to me and just honor him in this moment. And I also want everybody to put their hand on their heart to honor anybody out there who might be grieving or going through a hard time right now, to honor them as well. So in starting this show in a moment of heart opening honoring of those we love in an unconditional space. So thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca, for that.
Thank you.
And today I am super excited to have my brother on with us today, one of my soul brothers, who is fitting that he is here with us today with that how we open the show, because he has one of the biggest hearts that I've ever met. And his name is Axios. And he is a warm, compassionate presence whose intention is to assist humanity in remembering what it means to embody worthiness. Through the art of embodied communication, the expression of healing sound, and the presence of heart connection, he invites you to realize and actualize the unique and radical powers that you were born to give. So, Axios, my brother, welcome to the show today. It's such a good time to have you with us. And I know that you, too, want to honor someone who's very special with you today.
Yes. First off, thank you, too, for having me on here. It's such a pleasure. And I super value what you're doing here. I just want to say it's... and yeah, in terms of who I'm want to bring some attention to and appreciation and care and love to is my brother. You might know him. Goes by the name Avicii, and Tim Bergling. He was a Swedish electronic music producer. Made some of the best electronic music in the world, and he passed away on this day 3 years ago. He was just a massive inspiration for me. I now produce music, and he's a massive reason why I'm doing it today. And I know a lot of other producers who feel the same. So all my love. It's hard to use words sometimes with these things, but my heart's there with you, brother, and thank you for what you brought to this world.
Thank you for that.
Thank you,
Feel it.
Axios, for that. You know, and it's funny, before we got on air today, Rebecca and I was talking and understanding her experience that she's been going through with her father. It's brought up parallels of how I lost my mom and my aunt almost 6 years ago. And so just the energy that you embody, Rebecca, is, one of the reasons why we are connected and what we do. And so, yeah, it's a lot of love. This is just going to be a love fest.
We're going to have love fest today. Isn't that what it's all really about, though? All about the love.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about death that I can really, as much as it's like, so challenging at times, it is the thing that reminds me of what love really is every time. It's just like, oh, this is what it is. Oh, I feel it now. It's palpable. It's obvious. It's here. That's just me.
Yeah. Death is almost like that continuation of love in a new space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It kind of moves from, the tangible, the physical, in which we can see, feel, touch, use our senses with, to something that's almost intangible, like air. We know it's there, we know it
Right.
exists. But when we have people, people in spirit who are always with us, we know, we feel, and today we honor their presence in which they give us and provide us with both while they were here, and now even greater when they transform themselves into something much greater.
Yes. And they're always here with us, just
Yeah,
in a different form.
yeah.
And yeah, sharing that.
And so, what I wanted to kind of talk about today, and it's so fitting, the universe, it always has, the divine timing, I tell you. Um, Axios, I know that you are one of communication that aside from you being a music producer, I know you as one who embodies the energy of communication and how important that is, and really helping people to understand how important it is to not only hear but to listen and to speak the truth of what it is. So, can you enlighten us a little bit more on how the importance of this level of communication?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I just want to kind of check in, see like what wants to be said here, because there's a lot of directions we can go with this. But the first thing that comes to me is that when I think of communication, I think of two things at first. It's how am I feeling right now emotionally, and how am I feeling in my body? And for me, communication begins there. That's my experience. And in order to communicate effectively, I need to have a sense of what that is for me. I need to have the sense of how I'm being impacted in order to convey what's happening in a way that's true and real and honest. And I think that the big problem, which I'll just put out there up front, or the challenge, is that there is that I can only speak for myself. It's like I was brought up in a world where a lot of the things that I was doing kind of disconnected me from my emotional state, from how I was feeling. I was maybe unregulated in ways that I wasn't even aware of, because it was this constant do, go, go, go. And I certainly wasn't aware of my body and what was happening in my body. And so it's just been, for me, it's just a constant journey of becoming more in tune and aligned with what's happening in my body, how I'm feeling. And then the other element of that, the opposite, I guess you could say the yang element of that, is the expression of communication. Now, how do I express these things in words in a way that someone can understand, and in a way that might consider the context of their experience and what's happening in their world. So that I'm just going to pause there. Curious if there's anything alive from what I said.
It's interesting what you put up, what came to me while you were talking about that, in that feeling in that body, and feeling that embodiment of the expression through words. Is that, do we really have to really concentrate on the words and say, if we're in that feeling inside, like that part of that communication of tapping into that space inside of us, is the way to express the energy vibration of what we want to communicate, whether we say the right word, wrong word, or whatever, because words have so many different contexts and so many definitions. But however, isn't the emotional vibration in our hearts and in our souls and in our body the true communicator, no matter what the word is?
I love that. Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. There's like I could be saying quote unquote all the quote unquote wrong things, but if there's an intention that I'm holding in my heart, and that can be felt and that can be known, and I think this is I love the word paradox. I love living in paradox because both feel true. Yes, living in my heart and speaking from my heart doesn't matter what my words are. You're gonna feel my heart, and sometimes no, the heart isn't felt, and the words do really matter, and that can be the difference between many different things. It can.
So In that space of not coming from the heart, are you coming
Yeah.
from truth?
In the space of not coming from the heart?
If you're in that space of not coming from the heart with what you're expressing through the words you speak, are you coming from the truth of you?
Oh, definitely not. In that instance, yeah.
I love that.
I guess I would say this is that we have minds,
Yeah.
right? So that's the challenge here for me, is that I can communicate something, even it may be coming from my heart, but my words come out and hit someone's brain, and that brain and that person might not be receptive to the word that just came out. I'm all about like embodying
Yeah.
and being and speaking from the heart. I also just want to acknowledge that I can speak from the heart and bring out words, and if those words don't hit in a particular way, they won't be heard, and they might not be felt.
Yes.
So I I like to bring both together, that not only does this intention, this heart thing matter, but also, yes, the words do matter too. There's
Yeah.
something there as well, and the more embodied we are, when more connected we are to our feelings and to our body, the more in alignment those words will be. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at
Yes.
in a way, Rebecca. Yeah.
In the way
Okay.
I express.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It sounds like we're on the same page, just saying different words. Words.
I love that. And so, me, I always like to play the opposite side of that sometimes. When we step into this role of embodying what we are feeling, what we are communicating with our whole heart, the connection to that is very important, but those who are receiving it is just as important. And so those who may not have an open heart, or those who do have an open heart, the level of receptivity is also important, because someone who may not resonate where you are may not receive that message. So when those who may not be on the same frequency, is it that you found yourself doing in those moments?
Yeah, I think considering context is really important. Like if I'm with someone, I can tell that they're very unregulated, like they're completely stressed out and maybe just really not in their body.
Mhm.
It might not be a good time for me to say, hey, I notice I'm feeling like a lot of anger right now with you, and it might not be the time to do that. But there might be a better time for that. So kind of acknowledging, noticing, oh, okay, this person is totally stressed out. They're probably not going to be receptive to what I'm saying, regardless of the way I say it. I could say it in the most loving way. They might not hear me at all. And so that's one thing. Another thing is acknowledging trauma. Someone, yeah, might have trauma, and the way that I look, I'm a white male, might have an impact on them, regardless of how beautiful my words are and how connected I am to my heart. I might appear as someone who would hurt them in some way. And this is more of an extreme example, but when we're getting into more of these like intimate settings,
Mhm.
intimacy of like exploring conflict, speaking from your heart, that's intimate stuff, and that's also where trauma lives. That's also where, the places where we want to heal live. So just acknowledging that exists is important to me.
It's beautiful. And right now, too, I think there's a huge shift going on from that word base to that heart base to people actually now recognizing that it's okay to feel, recognizing that it's okay to be in that space where before we had lived in this paradigm of like it wasn't that heart space, but I feel like this whole like universal shift right now of people are like, oh, like instead of being shut down, like, oh no, I have to feel. So it's very interesting now. I don't know if you feel that like navigating and see the difference of people who are actually starting to learn to feel for the first time in their lives and knowing that it's okay to be in that space, which is really cool. Oh, sorry, I just had a lizard jump up and run up the.
The lizard agrees with you, Rebecca.
Yeah, yeah. This house is very active on the outside. You never know what's going to jump at me. So, woo!
Yeah, I love that what you just expressed there too, Rebecca, in regards to really shifting and moving their energy into that hurt based energy. And as we move into that, of course, there's always going to be some people who meet resistance because they're not ready to deal with, as Axios as you described, their trauma, because that's where it lives. It lives in that hurt space. And so, you being the communication expert, for someone who lives in that space of resistance with trauma, but yet have a desire to communicate, have a desire to be heard, what are some of the things that you can guide people towards to really help start to begin to free up that energy?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to me is the environment. So consciously creating a safe space to do that, to be that way, to be open, to be intimate, to be around people who want to connect in an open-hearted way. That feels really important to me. Just because, where I grew up and where I was, like, that wasn't necessarily the case. And sometimes you'll see people who like really are, I'm ready to heal, I'm ready to be in that space, but the environment isn't really matching that, or maybe creating that sort of container to hold them, to be in that. So just like being a healer and creating a healing container for someone, I think the same applies to working through trauma, finding that safe space and finding the right people where you really trust, like, yeah, you're going to be with me even when things get messy, because that's kind of what this is all about. It's we're little children with crayons. We're just kind of drawing and like and making beautiful things as we go, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll get there eventually, or wherever that is.
Draw outside the lines.
Right,
That's me.
exactly. That's you, Rebecca.
I draw outside the lines.
Yeah, I think I just started how to learn to draw outside the lines, believe it or not, with my me growing up in the space of, I have to be this way, I have to be that way, I have to be, so structured and rigid. I'm like, well, where's the fun? And so even my fun at times was, even growing up, was a little bit structured. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I could do that now. I guess I could do that now. So now, you know, uh, years later, almost 45 years later, I get to learn to play outside the lines a little bit.
And then that's so beautiful. Like we go back to reverting back to being our little inner children and not in a, you're talking about your communication and moving through the trauma. Once you could come to that space to move through that trauma and come back to that place of play and vulnerability and openness. I mean, that's the key to live in the world of alignment, is in that playful, joyful state.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true.
We just revert back to kids. And it's fun.
Indeed.
So are there any projects or anything you're working on right now with communication and your production that
So
new things that are coming to you of like expressing through the communication and music that you do that's been you found shifting for you?
Yeah. So for me, music actually is very new for me, and it came about after I was living in Playa del Carmen last year for about 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time I got this opportunity to explore the plant ayahuasca a bit deeper than I had ever before. So I was having these bi-weekly sessions where I was really getting to dive into this deeper trauma and be with it and explore myself a bit more. And by the end of those 10 weeks of 6 sessions of this, I had this, like, it was just like obvious, oh, I want to do music now. So yeah, kind of coming back really to my childhood roots of, like, when I was a little kid, I played music, but I really didn't do much after that. And so it's been really over the last, I would say, like about 250 or so days, every day since then has been this really process of how do I express my love or my heart through
Mm-hmm.
music. I've never done this before. How do I do it? So that's really it's been a very personal project, and that's like on the music side, very personal and but so beautiful because I've just been like, oh my gosh, there is really no better way to, at least for me, to express my heart than through music. And it was just like this boom clicking moment of like, ah, I think I'm imagining a lot of people who do art feel that way, that, oh my gosh, this is a way I can express myself and I don't actually have to use words, or I can, but it's so nice when it's just sound. Oh, sound. I can express this really difficult thing that I've been so challenged to say in words with a sound. And oh, suddenly, okay. Oh, you get me. You understand me. Oh, okay. Oh, great.
And and thank you for expressing that and sharing that story, because that is so important, to be in that space of expression through sound and art, and not having to, not, because I think a lot of people caught up, I have to express through my mouth and through words. So thank you for sharing that, because it's such a beautiful, powerful way to release and go through trauma or whatever you're going through, to open up through expression, through sound, through music, through art. And it's so freaking important. So thank you for sharing that and allowing that message to go out to the listeners, that that's what happens when you allow yourself to that space.
Yeah, and if you want, if you have a link to share with your music, I would definitely like to share that because I've heard it and I love the music.
Aw.
I do. You know, it's one thing, to, sound in general, but when it's put together, with the right intention from the heart space, whatever the purpose and intent behind it is, it's magical because it allows the body to even communicate even more. And, which I just found out, I didn't know that you actually experienced ayahuasca. But the plant medicine, when it moves through you, sometimes it allows you to physically move and allow you to communicate in ways you haven't done before. So, in that being said, how has sound been able to communicate with your body in terms of having to let go of trauma in such ways that you thought weren't possible for you or for anyone before?
Hmm. Yeah. That just takes me back to ayahuasca, because if if you have a session, you'll immediately become aware that the shaman that's singing is not just singing words, and it's not just singing sound, but there's a very clear understanding, at least for me, many times there's a vibration that's impacting me, and it's speaking to my emotions. It's speaking to how I'm feeling. There may be 30 people in the room, but I feel like this person's actually, the shaman's speaking directly to me right now with this vibration. I don't know. Have you had that experience, Hillis, or something
Oh,
similar?
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, the experiences that I've had with my shaman are far and deep. Too much to go into one episode right now, but I would be more than happy to share with you at another time. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And just like kind of on that note, working with sound, I know you said speaking about trauma, but, and I don't know if this is related, but what's here right now is that sound reminds me that I'm a channel.
Hmm.
Sound reminds me that I'm receiving something and then I'm giving it back in some way as well, as I'm sort of like working with it. Um, it's a, I think it's just a beautifully tangible way to feel that exchange between myself and spirit. I, I just released a track today, and that came to me so quickly, and it just got out so quickly. And many of the best producers will say that a really great song will only take about 3 to 4 hours to produce, like the main idea. And anything that takes longer than that usually is, kind of, you're getting lost in your head. It's not really the thing. So there is like this, it's kind of like a universal thing that many artists can agree on, whether you're identify as spiritual or not, that there's something that's coming in, and it's coming out through the expression of sound. So
Hmm.
And as you were speaking, I just have to get this out. This image, this perfect metaphor of who we are as vessels when it comes to any form of communication, when it comes to any form of art or anything. So just imagine that the body is a speaker, whatever, however many, woofers, tweeters, subwoofers, whatever, your body's a speaker. And connected to the speaker is I forget what it's called, but the cord, and that cord is connected to the infinite energy of the universe. And so that comes down to you, and you are the vessel that embodies what needs to be said. And whether it's from your soul, from source, or whomever, this energy that you chose to have access to express is this moving forward. Yeah.
That's awesome. And those light codes you're putting out, putting those light codes through the vibration resonance of coming out of your music. It's all sending signals and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So can I put you on the spot?
Sure, why not?
This is what I do. Can you listen
Love
to
it.
track?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
tracks so we can listen to it right now, live.
Yeah, we totally
What
could.
I put them on the spot.
I love it. I would, I personally would love to share it because it really is it's a tribute to not only Avicii, but every hero who's passed. That's the whole idea of the song.
Perfect for this show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got it here. And if I play it, will you guys be able to hear it?
I'm sure we will, because Spirit wants it to be heard.
Okay, great. So here we go. Can you hear that?
Oh no.
Let's see. Maybe I have to. Yeah. Let's see if I can share screen. Maybe with that. Let's see. Let's try that. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe try that. Let's see. Share audio. Here we go. Okay. Great. Okay. Let's see if it works. Well, maybe I'll work on it as we're going here. But oh well, here's my thing.
Okay.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Stream.
Oh, can you play it, Hillis?
I tried, and no, that one won't let me play that. Darn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hey,
so you guys.
Spirit.
Okay.
That's all right.
Do you have to unplug something so we can hear it like live from your computer instead of through the headphones? Is it coming through the headphones?
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Application Chrome.
That's what I pause.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. Share audio. Yeah. That's.
Well, we can always put up the link, in
we'll put the link up under the show description.
Totally.
You guys tune in so you can hear that download.
That track.
That beautiful music track.
So
and who knows, it might pop up by the end of the show.
Wait, is this it?
Oh, do you hear it? This is it.
Yeah.
See? Woo!
Little dance party right now.
Can you guys see the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
great. The whole thing.
Great.
And you said it took you 4 hours to put this together?
The original composition of the song, yes. The video took a long time.
Okay.
I love the messages
Thank you.
from all the artists.
Heroes never die, no. Heroes never die. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side.
Wow.
Heroes never die, no. Heroes never die. 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 Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Can you hang where we reside? Anti-heroes never die. No question about those who will ride when the tide gets high and the wave pulls a rise. Be surprised who remains by your side. Never die, no. Never die. 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 Heroes never die, no. Heroes never die.
Wow.
The world premiere of that one.
Came live on Fred. I said thank you for that.
Awesome.
That was a powerful, powerful piece, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. What an honor to be able to share in front of you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, the time is right. That's what I was at. It's like I gotta ask.
Well, thank you, Rebecca.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
that was meant to be shown. Thank you for being open to allow that to be sent out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it means a lot. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that one. And to be honest, being an artist, I think one of the most difficult parts is when you create something that you're so passionate about, you really care about, and you put it out into the world, and you don't necessarily get the response that maybe you were expecting. As much as I really try to let go of expectations, it's there. I'm a human. So this morning it was kind of like posting it and being like, oh, just like feeling that vulnerable piece of I just put something out there that matters to me, and I don't know if people are listening. So right now I really feel heard and cared about, and so thank you.
That piece really touched me, and with especially what I'm going through right now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that.
I bow to your mastery. Thank you.
As do I. Thank you, Rebecca.
Now after that, what are you gonna do? What is going on? It's jamboree time.
Right?
Sorry, I'm just like all in the hurt space right now,
Oh,
and
I know.
You don't have to
I'm gonna be able
apologize for that, Hillis.
I know,
pulling the
Ellen.
heartstrings over here, man. I'm telling you. Um, but you know, one of the things that I want to talk about, and one of the reasons why I thought it would be appropriate to have you with us is that there's so much that the millennial generation take heat for. There's so much that particular generation is like, well, it's all their fault. It's all their fault. It's and pushing it off. And I want to speak to you about that. How does it feel to be in that generation and to have this quote unquote labeled responsibility to try and fix everything or to communicate or what have you? I want to just get your thoughts about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. It's a great question, and something I've been reflecting upon a lot. Just being where I am now, I've been exploring my childhood and thinking back, what was it like to be, me when I was younger? And I was just thinking about how when I was in 6th grade, I just got out of a gym class, and there was our teacher waiting there in the hall and said, "Hey, come in, look at the TV, and we're seeing the Twin Towers fall." So that was
Oh
kind of
wow!
that was my introduction to the world of like things are collapsing, something's
Mhm.
not right, this isn't okay. So I like to say that's kind of a big part of being a millennial, is like being in this world that is changing, and something's dying and something's also being birthed. So I spend a lot of time around other millennials that are, largely underground right now, because like we're growing, we're learning, we're building things, and all these people are just amazing, so amazingly talented, and bringing all these beautiful things that so I know that 10, 20 years down the line, I mean, now and in the future, it looks bright to me. So when I hear people say, "Oh, millennials this, millennials that," I'm like, well, maybe you're just looking at it from like what's happening right now, here and now. But there are things that maybe you can't see that I think the millennials really will bring in a way that, who knows, maybe we'll save the day. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well,
Yeah,
so being from another generation, I don't even know what generation I am. I get so confused with all the whatever. But and being where you are as a millennial, like how can we, as the generation forward of you guys, how can if you have an insight of how we can support you, like
Mm,
being out there in the world, like what can we do for you to help support you, that you could send that message out, for other people that might come across this show to assist the millennials in the space that they're in, because I know you guys are struggling, just navigating this, and we've been through a lot more than you guys, just from age wise. So how can we support you?
yeah, absolutely. That's a really great question. Um, I would say, like, for me, it's always been needing support around what I'm passionate about and the choices that I'm making, because the choices that millennials are making are not the same choices that baby boomers or Gen
Mhm.
Xers were making. So it might seem at times, that this millennial is making this choice that doesn't make sense to someone from an older generation, and that makes sense to me. But we're stepping into a different world. So just really for me, it's always been, and my parents have been just astronomically helpful in this department of like, I've had to make a lot of tough decisions that really didn't make sense a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and being supported and trusting me that I'm making those right decisions, and of course giving me feedback and being like, hey, like I trust you, I care about you, and I just want you to know, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you considered this? So I think there's like that again, that paradox of like supporting and sharing wisdom, because I agree, you guys have a tremendous amount to share with us, and I yeah, I always want to be receptive to my elders, and I think I wish we lived in a world where that elderly wisdom was more present.
We've lost that.
Absolutely.
Especially here in the States. I think it's more prevalent in different parts of the world where they hold that container for the elders more. But the United States, we have really lost that container as far as holding our elders and their knowledge.
Yeah. You know, and when you say that, Rebecca, it brings to my mind the belief or the idea of separation. You know, that, you know, we all have our own individual family unit. You know, you go off, get married, you have your own family unit, but, you know, there's still like this loose connection to family, but it's not that connection to family like some of the older cultures have, such as in India or in China, you know, in those respects, or even in Spanish or Mexican cultures where they have that connection to their elders, to their families. So yes, it's definitely, you know, in the modern world that we live in, to where that connection is lost. And so yeah, now let's get that connection back, people.
Yeah, and co-create with it and intermingle with it and respect it and honor it.
Yeah.
But not be, I think there's also a codependency with it that I don't think no longer needs to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we need to, you know, your generation coming up, I really feel like we need to honor that and know that and learn from that. But we also need to release a lot of that because we are moving into a whole new paradigm that we've never been in before. And for order to expand into that, we have to let go of the codependencies of what was and say, okay, this is working, but this isn't working. We need to let go of that and expand in our heart to co-create together on all levels, generations, everything. So, you know, everything, like all across the board, to co-create together as one uniform unit.
Absolutely.
With no judgment and just in the space of a heart and unconditional love. Whew, okay, that's what
yeah.
So
I told Hillis today, I don't know what's going to happen today. So,
you know, usually we don't do this with a guest, but I was, Rebecca, if you are so moved to help move that energy that is within you, would you be open to doing some sound?
okay,
now?
so here's okay. I'm going to add to that. You want to really play?
Yes.
You have your keyboard?
Let's see.
Maybe it wouldn't work. Okay, so here's what my thought was. You know, we're on the fly here. I could do my sound, and maybe you could key in with some music, and we could create this fabulous piece on the air. Anyhow, but I could just do sound. Anyway, I'm just expanding now, so that's how I run.
Yeah, I could appreciate that.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that another time, but I will do some sound.
Yeah, I want to hear you for sure.
Hear me. Are you ready? Okay, guys. Oh, somebody
the
else
dogs are already singing with
you first. Okay, so everybody just take a deep breath and just, you know, breathe into this whole topic today and all this beautiful energy that we've been discussing and bringing forth in this co-creation of honoring and the heroes and just everything that's come forth today. And just breathe in that, settle in your heart. Just listen to the vibration sound that comes through. And everybody put their hand on their hearts and their hand on their stomachs. Take a deep breath in and bring themselves back home to them.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecka. That
Oh,
was
thank you for holding the space for me to do that. And thank you, Hillis. See, Hillis always puts me on the spot.
so friends are for, right?
Yeah, sometimes you put me on the spot too.
I know. We work well together that way. But
but I will say this though, as you were doing that, as he was coming to the end of that, definitely felt your dad's present, your dad energy, father energy. And the first words that I heard was, and then not just for you, but for everyone who's watching, that everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And the words of this new symbol that I have received, Murasa, the energy of love, divine balance, connected to the heart, connected to the planet, connected to the universe, Murasa. So let that be in your heart. Allow that energy to sit there, live there, embody that, because we are that. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we all just like melt in the seats, right?
Yeah, right.
That is my musical gift that came to me.
Yeah.
I see that, I hear that, I feel that. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I really felt that on so many levels, and I really actually feel so much more like in my body. Actually, speaking of being in the body, yeah, I feel connected. It's like I got a heart adjustment.
Yeah, it does. It goes in and just.
Yeah.
Can you see making some music with that? I'd like to do something with it, but I don't know because I'm not musically inclined.
Yeah, that's part two of the project of. For me, it's about, okay, so there's melodic music that sounds good, music that it speaks to emotions. But then there's what you're bringing to the table, Rebecka, is that music that really just transcends, just goes deeper than words, or even sometimes emotions can even define, and that's something that is important to me as well, and creating spaces where that is really being presented and celebrated and explored, experienced, engaged with. So I mean, the only way I've explored it thus far is through ayahuasca ceremonies. But I'm excited, when you say like, oh, what could we do with like that? You're like, oh, I think there's like, oh, I'm excited at the idea of like, oh my gosh, it feels like the possibilities are endless in that world. So
we'll talk offline. Divine
Okay.
intervention coming together today.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I love spirit. Like
Yes.
the connections that happen on this show are like, they blow my mind, Hillis.
I love it.
It's so
absolutely
cool.
love it. I can say when we first started this show that there was definitely a different energy, definitely different space. But when that came in, along with the assistance of the information to help translate that, it's like a whole nother energy now. It's like, where do we go? What do we do? We could just sit here and just chill out and let everyone, like, okay,
I could break out the bubble machine
bye. Right?
right over here.
You have
Right?
a bubble machine? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, the bubble machine.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
You
Hold
said
on.
it. You can't take it back.
Okay, I'm breaking it out, people. I think I hope that's about. Ooh, it's kind of gooky, but we'll try it here.
Yeah, we have a guest who sits with us regularly, and for the past few times, we haven't had a bubble machine for her
Here
to
she
keep us
is.
in bubbles.
You
And so
ready?
she was
Wow, I'm
yeah,
ready.
go ahead.
I hope it has batteries. Let's see if it works. Is it turning? Oh, come on,
It's not
no.
turning. Does it need a push?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm stuck in the little bubble.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Talk about being kids
Amazing.
again, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's next level, kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. We got the bubble machine. We got the bubbles going on.
I love it.
So Axios, is there a way for people to get a hold of you, to reach out to you, to connect with you?
Yeah, I saw you posted my website earlier. So
So that is the right one? Okay, so yeah.
evolvewithlove.com is a great way. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So aside from the music, anything else new and exciting we could look out for from you?
Let's see. Is there anything else new and exciting to look out for? Okay, I guess I'll say this. Something that, yeah, I really enjoy. Last year I put on a few different experiences where, well, it was called. Why do I keep forgetting the name? The whole idea behind it was to really explore what it means to feel worthy. And I know I shared that in my biography, that or my description is that, yeah, worthiness is important to me. And if you actually look up the word Axios in Greek, it means worthy. And yeah, so I love creating spaces. It's important to me to create spaces and a world where we can truly know beyond a doubt that we are worthy. And it's also really important for me to create spaces where people can share their stories of essentially what might have caused them to not feel worthy.
Beautiful.
So that's something that I've done in the past. I'd like to do again. It feels important. And essentially it's a healing space where you share your story and it's heard by 20, 30 people, and then they share their impact of how, not only how that feels to hear it, but how they can relate to it. And then you go into a world of connection. So I think that for me is like a beautiful way to sort of to heal those wounds and step into the true power, which is, for me, is I am worthy. That's when I know I'm worthy, then I become a creator, then I remember that I'm connected to the source, and I remember that anything's possible, and I'm here to be a brilliant, shining, beautiful, genius, empowered human being, a human being having a spiritual being having a human experience. We'll say that, or vice versa, whatever you want, whichever way. Yeah.
You can count me in for that experience.
Yes. I mean, how powerful is that? Because I think that's one of the biggest, I should say, belief system is not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So many people on this planet don't feel worthy. So that's so powerful. So thank you for bringing that container.
Yeah. This has been such a beautiful ride today. It's I'll just let you feel into it, because words need not to be expressed for this experience, only felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's how I'm feeling.
I'm feeling.
I love the word ineffable for that, because it's just okay, there's my word for no words. So there you go.
Ineffable?
Ineffable.
Ineffable. Okay.
Yeah, it was ineffable. It was indescribable.
That's a new one. That's a new one for me. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. Beautiful.
Well, everyone, it has been such an honor to have my soul brother on with us today to share this moment, to have moments upon moments, and to leave you all with more to love and honor about yourself and to feel worthy about who you already are. So step into that, feel that in that deep, deep, infinite heart space of yours.
Axios, thank you so much for joining us today on Cosmic Insight. It's just been beyond an honor to be in your presence today. And I didn't know a lot about your work. I just kind of jumped on because that's kind of what I do. And just to explore and experience you has been such an experience. So thank you for this experience of you today. It's been an honor.
Thank you. And I feel like a mirror just reflecting back. Oh, such an honor. And what a gift to be able to be with both of it's like we all shared our own gifts in our own way today. And that was just so cool. So cool.
We co-created. Like,
yeah, we totally did.
We're an example of what the world needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And bringing it forth.
Doing it.
Just remember that when whoever all you cosmic explorers, when you come across this, just remember that. That's just what it's all about. Is co-creating together from a space of love and allow everybody to be who they are.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, I guess we'll wrap this up.
Until next time, everyone, you guys have an awesome week and be sure to find the love in your heart. Have an amazing day, everyone.
Kisses and love, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today at Cosmic Insight. Until next time, keep exploring you.